Peppa Pig has introduced many new characters in recent years, such as Aunt Dottie and, of course, Baby Evie, who changed the show forever. But did you know this is only the beginning, since many brand new characters may appear in 2026?
Daddy Pig.
King of England. The Queen of England appeared only a few times on the show, but every one of her appearances was amazing. Best of all, she was clearly a representation of Queen Elizabeth II. However, this character was one of the few to have a tragic ending in the series. When the world received the news that Queen Elizabeth II had passed away, an official Peppa Pig account posted a tribute featuring a photo of Peppa playing with the character based on Elizabeth. As if that weren't enough, the image also included Elizabeth II's birth and death dates. All of this made it very clear that the Queen of the Peppa Pig universe passed away along with the real Queen Elizabeth II, and the fact that she never appeared in the series again after her real-world counterpart passed away helps confirm that. However, someone certainly took over the royal role of the character after that happened, so it's only a matter of time before we see the King of England appear in the series. If the show continues to follow real-life logic, the new king will show up very soon, and he will be based on Charles III, the current king of the United Kingdom. And believe it or not, he's just one of the 11 new characters you didn't know are going to appear in Peppa Pig. The moment has come! Let's enjoy another Cinewave together! Mr. Hare. Miss Rabbit is famous for working non-stop. Seriously, she has so many jobs that we could spend the entire day talking about all of them, and chances are we still wouldn't know every single one. When it comes to love though, it's a different story. She doesn't have a husband or a boyfriend, but that's something that could change a lot in 2026. We all know how popular she is as a character, so the show has plenty of reasons to create new episodes focused on her going through a major change, which would definitely grab fans' attention. In that case, what change would be more impressive than Miss Rabbit finding the perfect partner? That would be a great way to introduce a new character, Mr. Hare. Hares aren't rabbits, but they're very similar, so Miss Rabbit's boyfriend being a hare would help differentiate him from Mommy Rabbit's husband. To win over such a hard-working character, Mr. Hare would probably be just as hard-working as she is. It would be adorable to see them working together in who knows how many jobs, don't you think? Daddy Sheep. Speaking of couples, we can't forget to talk about a certain character who should have appeared a long time ago. Daddy Sheep, who is Susie's father and Mommy Sheep's husband. He has never appeared throughout the entire series, which has left many fans confused for years. Susie is such an important character, so why has her father never shown up on the show? There are several theories that try to explain this. Some say Daddy Sheep and Mommy Sheep are divorced, while others believe he may have passed away when Susie was still very young. But one of the theories that makes the most sense is that Daddy Sheep is working in another country to help support his family. After all, in the episode Susie Goes Away, Mommy Sheep gets a job on the other side of the world and is very happy about it. Sure, it must have been an amazing offer, but she didn't even seem sad about having to leave her friends in Peppa Town. What if, in reality, that job was in the very country where her husband is living, and she was so happy because the Sheep family would finally be together? That would explain why she was so upset when she lost that job opportunity, but we don't think that longing will last much longer. Now that new characters are starting to appear, Daddy Sheep has a chance to return to Peppa Town and reunite with his beloved family, becoming a recurring character on the show. Baby Cow. If so many characters are on the way, then it's only natural to expect that some of them will be babies. After all, Evie is a baby and was the most popular addition to the show's cast. Rosie and Robbie, Mommy Rabbit's twins, also got a lot of attention. In other words, more babies are going to be born, and that fits perfectly with another change that Peppa Pig fans absolutely loved: the marriage of Mr. Bull and Mrs. Cow. They love each other and are already married, so the next step in their lives might be having a baby, and that's how a baby cow could be introduced, or maybe even a baby bull. The important thing is that this character could become part of the next generation of characters on the show, the same generation as Evie, baby Alexander, and the Bunny twins. If you also want to see these new characters appearing on the show, leave a comment down below. #new. Carol Cow. Speaking of that, there are theories that Mrs. Cow already has a daughter from before her marriage to Mr. Bull. And if that's true, this character is another one who is going to steal the spotlight in future Peppa Pig episodes. In fact, this is a very curious case, because this character has already appeared in a few episodes. In several moments, we can see this little cow in the background of the scene. She never speaks, never draws attention, but she's always there. The character is called Carol Cow, and we don't know what her origin is, but the chances of her being Mrs. Cow's daughter are very high, since she has been seen a few times walking alongside Mrs. Cow and Mr. Bull, who would now be her stepfather. So it would make perfect sense if the series made Carol Cow a more important character. If there is an episode about the birth of a new child of Mrs. Cow, Carol would automatically need to gain some spotlight. It would be really cool to discover that Mrs. Cow and Mr. Bull's family is bigger than we thought. Paternal grandparents. Speaking of family, the pig family itself seems to have some members who have never been seen and who could become an official part of the cast in the near future. Just look at Daddy Pig. We've already had the pleasure of meeting his brother, but we've never been able to find out who his parents are. It's worth remembering that Grandpa Pig and Grandma Pig, who appear all the time, are the parents of Peppa's mother, not her father. Peppa's paternal grandparents have never even been mentioned at any point, as if they were something Daddy Pig avoids remembering, which suggests that he might be on bad terms with his own parents. Therefore, bringing these two into the series could be a great idea, because then we would finally discover what led Daddy Pig to fall out with his daughter's paternal grandparents. Did they dislike Mommy Pig and never support her marriage to Daddy Pig? Or is the reason much darker than we could possibly imagine? New aunt. Another relative of Daddy Pig that we would love to see is his sister. Her existence hasn't been confirmed, but it would make perfect sense for him to have an older sister, which would mean that Peppa has another aunt besides Aunt Dottie and Aunt Pig. The biggest sign that this character is living somewhere in Peppa's world is that, in Daddy Pig's office, we see a black and white photo with two little pigs who look a lot like George and Peppa, but wearing different clothes. Because the photo has no color and their clothes are different, many people believe that the boy who looks like George is Daddy Pig when he was young, and the girl who looks like Peppa is actually his older sister. That's why many fans used to think Aunt Dottie was Daddy Pig's sister, until that was disproven in the episode where Dottie visits her family. But that doesn't mean Daddy Pig doesn't really have a sister. Now that Evie has been born, Peppa's secret aunt could show up to meet the baby and the other children of her younger brother. Dottie's husband. Another relative of Peppa that we need to learn more about is Dottie. We know that Mommy Pig's sister lives in another country, but we have no idea what her job is. Most importantly, we don't even know if she's married. But since Dottie is around the same age as Peppa's mom, the chances of her also having a husband are pretty high. And in that case, Dottie's next appearance on the show should come along with the introduction of a brand new character, her husband. He was probably born in the country where Dottie currently lives, which has a very high chance of being the United States. Now the question is Dottie's husband also a pig? Or will she be the only member of the pig family who is married to someone from another species? That would be really cute. You know what would be awesome? Subscribing right now and getting all our videos straight on YouTube. Baby Sheep. Remember when we talked about the long-awaited return of Daddy Sheep? With his reunion with Mommy Sheep, there's a good chance that the Sheep family could end up gaining a new member, with Mommy Sheep becoming pregnant with a little brother for Susie. That would make perfect sense for the series, since Peppa got a little sister not too long ago, and because Susie is her best friend, it would be amazing to see her also get a younger sibling. The Baby Sheep could even become a friend of Evie in the future. Do you think they'll end up becoming best friends just like Peppa and George? Baby bunnies. Mommy Rabbit already has 4 children, 2 of whom were born during the show. But what if we told you that this is only the beginning? Come on, you probably know that rabbits are known for reproducing a lot, having many babies all the time. And we've seen that this is, at least in part, true in the world of Peppa Pig, since Mommy Rabbit had twins in her most recent pregnancy. Following that logic, if there's anyone who might have more children in Peppa Pig, it would be Mommy Rabbit. It would totally fit the whole rabbit theme to see her having 1 or 2 more kids very soon. But maybe she won't be the one to have more children. Instead, it could be Miss Rabbit. That would make a lot of sense if her romance with Mr. Hare actually happens. Baby crocodile. Another baby that would be very interesting to see being born is a baby crocodile. Most of the babies we see in the show are cute and adorable, so our expectations would be completely flipped if the next baby introduced were a crocodile, a much scarier animal. Even in Peppa Pig, crocodiles are portrayed as scary creatures, since the very first scene in which Miss Crocodile appears is one where she gives Madame Gazelle a huge scare. In fact, she was the only crocodile to ever appear in the entire series, so if a baby crocodile shows up, the chances of her being the mother will be very high. We've prepared 2 videos you're going to love. Pick one and keep having fun here with Teen Videos.